Today on Locked On Rockies, more bullpen moves for the Rockies.
You are Locked On Rockies, your daily Colorado Rockies podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Rock on Rockies fans. Podcast for today, the 18th day of November in the year 2022. I'm your host of the Locked On Rockies podcast, your Rockies fan extraordinaire, Paul Holden, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where you can find your team each and every single day. And if your team is the Colorado Rockies, then, well, you are in the right spot. That is where you want to be. That's what we do around here. We talk about the Rockies each and every day. We are proud to be your first listen of the day. Thank you for making us your first listen of the day. We are free and streaming on your favorite streaming service, and we're coming to you live on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel, where you can join in on the live chat, just like Furious MMO is, by saying this is what the Rockies needed, and that references the Rockies making two moves when it comes to the bullpen today. Back-to-back days, really lots of bullpen action this week for the Colorado Rockies. We're going to dive into that, but who the heck am I? I am your Rockies fan extraordinaire, Paul Holden. Been following this team my entire life and bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk here on the Locked On Rockies podcast for a little over 2 seasons. And now, today's episode of the Locked On Rockies podcast is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. Folks, the Rockies add a pitcher and re-sign a pitcher. And let's start with the new addition. Brent Suter is on the Rockies now. He joins the team after pitching with Milwaukee for a long time. And one of the first reactions I saw was he was a fan favorite, someone that the Brewers fans were enjoyed. 33 years old, and last year he went 5-3 with a 3.78 ERA and 54 appearances last season. He struck out 54 and walked 22 in 66 and 2/3 innings. This is from the Associated Press. Suter had spent his entire big league career with Milwaukee, making his debut in 2016. He was the longest tenured Brewers player and had served as the team's union representative. He owns a 36-19 record and a 3.51 ERA and 196 career appearances, including 39 starts. He has 338 strikeouts and 98 walks in 394 and 2/3 innings. Suter was the Brewers' 2022 nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award, given to the player who best represents baseball through character, community involvement, philanthropy, and positive contributions on and off the field. It was the third time the Brewers had nominated him for the award. So this is interesting. This is a player that it seems a really nice relationship or a really nice start to a career in Milwaukee comes to a close on just a waiver wire acquisition. I mean, the one thing that I saw, and I think Jake Shapiro or someone of this tweeted this out. It looks like he has a habit of getting hit hard. He can be someone that has a habit of getting knocked around. And one of the big things, obviously this is a veteran arm. And like we were talking about with Denilson Lamet, this is another solid piece. This is someone that's been in the league since, been doing stuff here in the game. Why is this? I don't want all of his non-pro ball, but I do want to make a reference on that. I do on one thing from this pickup. This is a pitcher that is not unfamiliar with Colorado either. He pitched in Colorado Springs. What was it? Yeah, let's see. He pitched in Colorado Springs for a few seasons. So he has also pitched at altitude. One interesting wrinkle there in his background for this new arm for the Rockies. Another big thing, lefty. He's a lefty out of the pen. This now gives the Rockies another lefty option, something they don't have a lot of. Austin Gomber, one of their lefties, and Lucas Gilbreth is their other lefty that comes out of the pen. Now the Rockies, when they desperately needed it, can bring out there something what they needed. And the career numbers are good for Suter. What does this mean ahead? A new team, a new look for him. I don't know what this means for him going forward. But the Rockies are this shouldn't be a move that's this is a good look. This is something that we should enjoy here, and I think is a good move for the Rockies. Again, it's not a super big risk. He wasn't dominant necessarily last year. 0.3 WAR, 5 and like we said with those numbers there. Let's take a look at some of the other metrics. He gave up 9 home runs, 22 walks last season, 28 earned runs, 32 runs given up here in 66 innings. So, giving up almost, a run every other inning or so is not terrible. But I like that win-loss record. I like the strikeout, and I like the history. A veteran arm, someone that's been around for a bit, and someone that has been able to do a job for Milwaukee for a while, and especially added on top of that, what seems to be good clubhouse presence, good type of guy, good character type of guy to bring in to the team. I mean, if you're going to have a 3-time Roberto Clemente Award guy, this is a guy that clearly cares about being involved, being engaged, and this is a nice thing for a nice way for the Rockies to kind of reward that, keep him going with what's going on, keep him going in a career, and keep giving him an opportunity. But it's good. That's good character stuff. We'll have to see. I don't know a ton, but I mean, it's encouraging. It's a bummer, I'm sure, for Milwaukee fans, but a fan favorite, a guy that's been there, a guy that's been playing playing in the big leagues, was in the big leagues throughout the whole season last year, wasn't going up and down. Now, a veteran lefty out of the pen for the Rockies. But again, some of the issues there. Looks like he has a habit of getting hit kind of hard, and we'll see how he handles pitching at at altitude as well. But like I said, he's been there, pitched in the springs. That's at least something there. He's not unfamiliar with what you have to do with pitching in these type of elements. So we'll see how that how that goes, and it gives the Rockies also another option for long relief. This is a guy that's had some history starting games. He started almost 40 games in his career. He didn't start any games in 2022, but it gives the Rockies someone that they can turn to if they need to. Again, like we were talking about with Austin Gomber going into if they need to turn to the pen a little bit earlier, Suter's going to be a type of guy that is helpful for the Rockies going forward. Is it the most flashy? Is it going to be the biggest thing? No, but it's nice value. And when you look at the numbers, it's better than Lamet finished in terms of things, but in some of the numbers, but slightly better in just wins above replacement. So that is one of the changes coming to the Rockies bullpen. The next thing the Rockies did in terms of the bullpen was a great move, a good idea to commit to someone that was on track for a really, really special 2022, but was derailed by injuries. We'll talk about him next. But before we do that, I got to tell you about some of the great folks that make this possible. That includes BetOnline. BetOnline.net is your number one source for your sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. If you want to get in on the betting action, it's the weekend coming up. There's all sorts of sports coming up. The World Cup is coming up. If you want to get involved in betting on the World Cup, seeing some futures and all sorts of stuff. You can find the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there, from football to basketball to soccer to esports. They got it all covered at betonline.net. And they even got sports podcasts for even more references for you to get your betting fix or get more knowledge for your bets. You can find those at BetOnline as well. They're the fastest and easiest way to get your betting fix on all the leagues, folks. And if you head to the website, that's betonline.net, you can get all that info, all those lines, all those odds, all those trends right there. Or you can even get it on your mobile device at betonline.net. BetOnline, where the game starts. Furious MMO says, I'm happy that he has some altitude experience. That is in response to Brent Suter, the Rockies' new relief pitcher from out the bullpen. Wanted to read a little bit more here about Suter from the Colorado Springs Gazette and from Danielle Allentuck here. The Suter, 33, was drafted out of Harvard by the Brewers in 2012 and debuted for the team. He was primarily a starter. Suter has already experienced the challenges of pitching at altitude, having spent part of 2 seasons in Colorado Springs. His addition gives the Rockies a second left-handed option in their bullpen and another veteran to help this young group. Earlier this week, the Rockies agreed to a 1-year deal with Dinelson Lamet to avoid arbitration and acquired Nolan Jones from the Guardians. The Rockies also added 5 prospects to their 40-man roster, including former top prospect Riley Pint. Yes, so the Rockies 40-man roster is set as of right now. They have made their decisions. They have it is 40 out of 40. So at least for now, the Rockies aren't doing anything. That could change. There's obviously people can be sent up and down and reassigned and things of that nature. But as of this moment, there won't be any more surprise waiver moves or things of that nature. I just got this weird, I don't know what it is. It keeps getting in the way of me talking today. It's just one of those Friday things, I guess. But one of the things to be encouraged by, not only adding a lefty, veteran lefty, this move, though, this other move the Rockies made is one to be excited by. Tyler Kinkley is now going to be with the Rockies for a while. The Rockies have agreed to a 3-year contract extension with Tyler Kinkley. That is going to cover up until 25, and there's an option for 26. Tyler Kinkley is coming off that elbow surgery, but he was dominant until that injury last year. In his time with the Rockies, he pitched in 24 innings, giving up an ERA of 0.75. Only 2 earned runs given up there. 5 runs total, no home runs, 6 walks to 27 strikeouts. Tyler Kinkley has this ability. He was going to be argued the closer of the team. He was in that conversation as well. It was this is the right move. I mean, hopefully you're always nervous about coming back from injury, especially coming back from elbow injury. But Kinkley is someone that you can count on to be, I think, a flamethrower. And even the projections from Baseball Reference are pretty good for him next year. 2-2 win-loss record, a 3.68 ERAs with a save in 44 innings. Only 5 home runs, 43 strikeouts to 15 walks. That is really going to be an absolutely that's a great line right there. If the Rockies can get that type of production from Tyler Kinkley, that's going to be a solid piece to your bullpen. That's going to help your bullpen win games. And the big thing, the big thing that would be a massive upgrade for the Rockies bullpen with the return of Tyler Kinkley. Not only is that really great strikeout to walk ratio, but keeping the home runs down. Not only do the Rockies on offense need to hit home runs, but like we've talked about over and over again, is the Rockies need to limit the amount of home runs they give up. And going after pitchers that are going to do so is the right move. And Kinkley has been able to do that. I know his season was cut short, but he only gave up double-digit home runs once, and that was in 2021. But he was already on track to be better than that. In that he had 70 innings in 2021 and he gave up the 12 home runs in 24 innings. So let's triple most of that and kind of put them in there. I would put most likely he'd be sitting in that 6 to 7 home runs allowed range when you're getting close to that 70, which would be a nice cut in that home run in half. That's obviously a pure conjecture. It's pure speculation. It's pure quick numbers, but it's something that you can kind of think of when you're there. But another benefit of what Tyler Kinkley does is that strikeout to walk ratio is great. 27 strikeouts to 6 walks, 68 strikeouts to 26 walks in 2021, 26 strikeouts to 12 walks. That's not as great in 2020, but it's shortened season there. And he's shown improvement in this regard because in 2019, 46 strikeouts to 36 walks. So we're seeing him get better at the walks. How is that elbow injury going to impact him? We'll have to see. But this is a good move for the Rockies and a step in the right direction as the Rockies have kind of built out their bullpen now. We know how the Rockies are going to, or at least how they will look in terms of their bullpen. Are things going to continue to change? Yes, but we will see Brent Suter, and we will see Tyler Kinkley for the Colorado Rockies next year. Absolutely. Let's take a look at some more Rockies talk, more Rockies stuff. And actually, let's highlight the fact that there were some Rockies prospects that were all-stars there in the Arizona Fall League. But before we do that, got to tell you about some of the people that help make this show possible, and that includes SimpliSafe. If you've thought about securing your home with home security but have been putting it off, you'll want to listen up. Right now, Locked On Rockies listeners can order the #1 rated SimpliSafe home security system for 50% off. This is their biggest offer of the year, and you don't want to miss it. Did you know that over the holidays, property crimes like burglaries and package thefts spike nationally? That's why our friends at SimpliSafe are offering 50% off their award-winning security system so that more families can feel safe and secure this holiday season. SimpliSafe was named the best home security system of 2022 by U.S. News and World Report, a third year in a row. In an emergency, 24/7 professional monitoring agents use Fast Protect technology exclusively from SimpliSafe to capture critical evidence and verify the threat is real so you can get priority police response. With the top-rated SimpliSafe app, you can stay in complete control of your system anytime, anywhere. Arm or disarm, unlock for a guest, access your cameras, or adjust your system settings. Don't miss your chance to save big on the only security system recommended by U.S. News and World Report 3 years in a row. Get 50% off any new SimpliSafe system at simplisafe.com/LockedOnMLB. This is their biggest discount of the year. The biggest discount of the year. Go to simplisafe.com/LockedOnMLB. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. We are streaming live on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel where you can follow along and join the show live, just like Stefano Sanchez and Furious MMO have today. They've popped in the live chat. And when you know that when we're gone live, then you can join in and ask your questions. We can talk Rockies baseball together. We're going to head over to Purple Row here just to give to wind down the day. The Rockies had some all-stars in the fall league, which is great news for the farm system, which is great news for the history or for the future of the franchise. Let's take a look here. We're reading from Purple Row. Evan Lang writes, a look at your 2022 Rockies minor league all-stars. Gone should be the days where the Colorado Rockies farm system is slept on, ranked poorly, or in general overlooked. The Rockies had a whopping 14 overall players across all minor leagues named minor league all-stars, tied with the Tampa Bay Rays for the most in the league. The Rockies had at least one player from each league named an all-star and dominated the low-A California League with 5. Here are some of them. In the Dominican Summer League and the Arizona Complex League, 19-year-old catcher Brian Betancourt, who was signed out of Venezuela as an international free agent in 2021 and made his professional debut the same year with the Rockies Dominican Summer League team. The year he returned to the DSL Rockies and made his splash by hitting .355, .462, .674 in 44 games with 11 home runs, and he was named a DSL All-Star in July. A 2-year veteran of the DSL Rockies, outfielder Jesus Bugarin, moved up to the Arizona Complex League this year, had a strong 2021 with the DSL Rockies by hitting .339, .419, .481 in 51 games, and he proved that his last season wasn't a flash in the pan by largely replicating his results with the ACL Rockies. 51 games, .337, .330, .391, .505 during his age 20 season, while largely playing center field. All right, here's the big stars. In low A, the Fresno Grizzlies, outfielder Yanquiel Fernandez, shortstop Adiel Amador, catcher Hunter Goodman, and left-handed pitcher Mason Green all were all-stars this year. The 5th Fresno Grizzly is second baseman Juan Brito. He was traded to the he was in that trade with the Guardians. All 5 of them were all-stars. In high A, shortstop Julio Correas and second baseman Eddie Diaz, Colin Simpson, and, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Zach Veen, Ezekiel Tovar. There in Double A, he was named to be an all-star there as one of the top prospects there. Sean Bouchard and Winton Bernard also All-Stars. He All-Stars for AAA Albuquerque. Really, really awesome. Bernard is a free agent. We will see where he goes. Nothing but the best to Winton Bernard, but that's always exciting. Really, really great stuff. There is reason to be excited about the future of the Rockies and the prospect. Can't sit there and say they don't have a lot going on in the system anymore, because that simply is not the case. Folks, that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Thank you so much for making us your first listen of the day. Why don't you go make Locked On Sports Today your second listen of the day and stay up to date with all things Colorado sports. You can also make the Locked On Broncos, Locked On Avalanche, or Locked On Nuggets your second listen of the day. To get more of your Colorado sports fix, you can find us on Twitter at LO Rockies. You can find me at Paul Holden 33. You can also find us free and streaming on YouTube or your favorite streaming service. Just search Locked On Rockies and you'll be taken to where you need to go. And folks, until next time, this is Paul Holden saying so long